those who come to Vogue Night and they win the drink tickets, it doesn't mean you don't tip your bartenders.
Eat it a little bit, serve it a little bit, turn it a little bit, roll.
Rule number one, if you disrespect my performers, that means if you boo, if you talk, if you do anything that is not cheering and giving them money, I'm going to assume that you have enough of the backbone to be here on this night and reach your
A little bit of turn it, a little bit of eat it, a little bit of roll. Eat it a little bit of turn it, a little bit of eat it, a little bit of turn it, a little bit of
Springfield, Massachusetts, Springfield Central High School. Public School Department. North End too. Do you have it on your mom?
How about we do super femme cocktails all over iconic women, paint the whole bar pink. Let's keep the gay bar going, and that's my vision. That's what my vision's been from the very beginning. Discos, my Malibu Barbie meets Studio 54. So he was like, okay. I am one of the owners of Majestic Saloon. I'm the operator of Majestic Saloon, so I do all the events. I book a bunch of shit. I make awesome community connections, Exhibit A. And yeah, I'm just working on having the best programming in Northampton. Queer programming.
And succeeding.
And trying to
If
very
I
hard.
do say so myself.
Thanks.
I'm Ange Buxton. I use they them pronouns. I'm I guess an event coordinator, producer here. I've been working with Kayla since y'all got your liquor license, hosting the comedy open mic. I DJ here, and I produce comedy shows and other events.
Welcome to Glitter and Garter's Majestic's weekly drag show, Goth Night, with your co-host, my beautiful little... I am a drag performer and producer of Glitter and Garters at Majestic Saloon. We've been doing this every week for about 2 years now. I have been doing drag though for about 12, and yeah, it's really cool. I had a show in Northampton before, pre-COVID, but after COVID, when Majestic opened up and was under new ownership, they asked if I wanted to do my show here weekly, and I accepted. Majestic. It really is. It's just a very bubbly, happy, pretty place to be. It makes everybody feel really good. Northampton's one of those places that's unapologetically queer, and to have a bar that is a perfect example of the queer community being unbelievably diverse and being so close-knit in Northampton is just so cool. So I was about 15, 16, I would say even a little bit younger than that. I saw a movie called Tu Wong Fu for the first time, and it stars 3 action heroes playing drag queens doing a cross-country road trip. It's really cute. But I remember seeing that and being like, this is everything. And then I was around that age when the first season of Drag Race came out, and then I started watching that, and I was like, oh, I can do this. This is something that is an achievable, like, dream and career, and then it all just went downhill from there. Trans woman, and I've been out for 6 years, and I've been obviously doing drag for longer, but where drag and transness has always been something where, like, trans women have given the most to the drag community, we are often silenced, we are pushed aside, we are picked on, we are made fun of, and we work times as hard to get a quarter of the way anyone else does. I have not 1 second felt that at Majestic. I have a platform, I have a voice, and I talk about a lot of social issues and political issues that are facing my community because I am so privileged to have a weekly show, and I've gotten a family here. I have made dear friends that I wouldn't trade in for all the money in the world, and I get that because we have the safety of Majestic. But I know so many people like me and people who don't even look like me suffer 3 times as much in places across the country, and so being able to have a voice, speak about these things, and have a platform, it's even led to me being the head of drag for Hampshire Pride this year, and I am the first trans woman to ever hold that position. I'm pretty sure, I looked it up, I did some research, but I am the first trans femme to have this position, and I'm really excited, and it is the best gift I've ever been given.
And right now, America is attacking trans people. They are using the guise of drag queens to attack trans femmes, and I just want to fucking live my life. I sit at home and play video games and smoke weed with my cats. I don't know what I am doing or what any trans person is doing to harm anybody else. And the only thing I really ask of my community that I've gotten here is to educate ourselves. Over 300 anti-trans bills have been pushed by states since the start of this year, and that number has gone up. It's almost 400 now, if not in the 400s now. Checking all the time is quite literally damaging to my mental health, but I have to do it anyway. And I just ask that when we all leave here, that we think of the people who don't have this, to the trans people who stay at home because there is nowhere in their community like this, and that we do the least we can, and that is make ourselves aware of what is going on around us. And I just want to say, from the bottom of my heart, thank you all for this amazing opportunity.
I have a lot of privilege as a trans femme, being in Massachusetts, being in Northampton, and Western Mass in general has always been very accepting and has a lot to do for Pride.
Drag, don't quote me on this, but you can quote me on this. Like we created this shit. Sorry, we created this shit. The lingo that's in drag, black. The wigs that you see, all of the curly, gelled up, all that fun stuff. If you've ever been to a hair show in Atlanta in the 90s, that's black. The drag queens are wearing it like it was invented yesterday.
Butch Queen Vogue Femme, soft and cunt.
That's why I decided to go into drag, because competition setting is the same exact thing, and I would just look at these queens and be like, yeah, I may be ugly, but you can't do this. Like, if you go to a drag pageant, your face, you get scored on your face, but it's not as big as your talent portion. So you can be an ugly bitch, but you can't beat the talent. But yeah, that's Ms. October in a nutshell.
You're supposed to look like it's new and fresh. This
AKA way. You're supposed to look stupid.
You're right, because you're not gonna know until you get out there. I had to learn the hard way, as did October.
I did not. I was in a dance studio. Thank you.
Fuck that bitch.
And it just so happens to be that, you know, I sparked up a conversation with Kayla, not knowing that Kayla was the owner. And then one day, me and Ms. October Melee, we got into contact, and you know, I started going to the Majestic more and more and more, and Kayla seen what I was doing and asked me, just flat out asked me if I wanted to, you know, do something there.
Born and raised Connecticut. I performed in Connecticut, but I perform mostly out here. And I perform mostly out here for the simple fact that there is a gap between the white queens and the queens of color. There's literally like 3 out here that are of color, period. And then the rest are white presenting queens. So for me to come out to Massachusetts, it's very easy for me to be like, I'm a queen, book me, because they will, just because I'm black. But it also doesn't change the responses you get from people, not necessarily the crowds, but the other queens that are in set shows. I do see the girls with their nose turned up like, who's she and why is she here?
Western Mass has a big issue with claiming to be supportive of everybody, but it isn't. It's supportive of a very specific type of people, and that is usually rich, white, Massachusetts, like middle class people. And there is a huge population of us who are queer, poor, BIPOC, and not this picture of what people want to see from queerness, but we are what queerness is, and we need to surround ourselves with everybody in the community and realize that we are a rainbow.
That's what's missing. There's not a safe space where I can be like, I'm a black man or a black drag queen and I feel safe. There has not ever been a space until I got to the Majestic where I'm just like, this is a safe space.
And like Kayla and I grew up in the time of Divas, which like doesn't exist anymore, but Divas, like, that was everything for us. Like, it was like the one place you could go and dance. It was explicitly queer also, so it was like you could go and dance and like just have fun. There were drag shows, there's all sorts of shit there that you couldn't see anywhere else. And so like to keep this as a gay, it's like there are no other explicitly gay bars in Northampton. Even though everyone says it's so gay, it's like there are no other explicitly queer establishments. So how gay is it, you know? And so it was really important to keep this space what it was, basically. So 10 Forward is in Greenfield, and it's a queer, explicitly queer establishment, just like the Majestic, where a lot of different stuff happens. The capacity is a little bigger, so the type of events that we do, like a little more geared toward dance parties. So like, yeah, and it's literally underground, so it's
Basement vibes.
It's real basement. Yeah, it's real like. Yeah, it's like a more underground vibe to what you'll see literally on Main Street. Yeah, I guess the whole point of 10 Forward is that it's also a community space, and we get a lot of local artists, like musicians, DJs. There was a play there this weekend.
Need apple bomb? I got it going on.
Having your own venue changes the game, and having a place where you can say this is on culture behavior, this is off culture behavior, and we maintain along with the staff obviously and regulars. Like regular patrons are huge on both and both Majestic and 10 Forward for maintaining, upholding the culture we want to see.
It's very much how the state is ran, like a commonwealth, where everybody is in this drag scene, but we can go to our neighbor to ask a question, to ask for help. Our neighbor is booking us and you're booking your neighbor. And that's what I've started to see a lot of out here. And I think that's probably one of the most beautiful things I've seen in the Western Mass drag community, and especially since I'm a person of color. Seeing this with other people of color being included in that conversation is actually really nice. And
Yeah, matter of fact, yes. I want to, since we're on the topic of the Majestic, I want to give a quick little shout out and congratulations to the Majestic Saloon for winning Best Neighborhood Bar and Best Karaoke this year for 2023. I'm very happy to be a proud of that. They were also finalists for Best Martinis and Best Margaritas. So I'm very proud of all of the staff there, especially Kayla being the owner, because without them, I don't think I could have done this. I don't have time for people who claim to be allies, but are truly part of the problem. So knowing that they're interested in it as well, and not just interested in it as in they want to be on out there in Vogue and all that, they're interested in the knowledge of it.
Meeting Ange is like the best thing to ever happen to me. So I think everything that like happened within the last 2 years is like, it just happened naturally. We have the same customer base. We have the same ideas, and like a lot of my ideas for 10 Forward are the things that we can't do at Majestic and vice versa.
I just want to say that Majestic stores are open for anyone who is queer and anyone who is looking for a place to call home and a place to feel safe around your community.
In a world now where everyone's like, be fucking for real, or like, are you serious? No, sir. Don't fall into that hype. That's very much where I stand. Be authentic. Don't be real. Authenticity is real. You don't have to be real if you're authentic.
If I had one clothing item, it would probably be I would personally say this dress I wear in drag. It is a Selkie puff dress, and I actually married one of my dear drag sisters. I became an ordained minister, and not in drag, just in normal, wore this dress, and it has now become like one of my favorite drag pieces and has a lot of sentimentality. So if I had one piece, it would be this, because it just speaks for itself.